Hello everyone, I'm back here once again with another video in my Five is Alive series. This is where I take a look at an album ending in five. And for 1975, I did Tomorrow Belongs to Me by the sensational Alex Harvey Band. Today I'm going to be looking at Around the World in a Day by Prince and the Revolution. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, click the little bell down below so you don't miss anything. But anyway, let's get into this. This was actually my first foray into a full album by Prince. The only other songs that I can quite honestly say I think I've heard is Purple Rain and 1999 through doing reactions. Other than that, I could have heard Prince and just not know it. But anyway, let's get into the record itself. So it starts off with the title track Around the World in a Day. Then it got Paisley Park, Condition of the Heart, Raspberry Beret, Tambourine, America, Pop Life, The Ladder, Temptation. Really interesting record. It's definitely some of the genres talked about. It's a psychedelic record for the most part, pop, rock, soul, funk. Definitely hear all those things on here. It's so interesting to listen to. One thing I'll definitely say before getting into this that I was I've always been kind of like I want to get into Prince. Where do I start? Some say just start at the beginning and go. I'm not kind of like that. I kind of like to start at weird spots in discographies because if I like what I hear, I know I can always go back and I can always go forward. So I figured this was actually an interesting one. This is one of the ones that I was thinking about listening to, and luckily it popped up in 1985. So I'm like, gives me a great reason to listen to Prince. So the first track, Around the World in a Day, starts off with this very weird kind of opening, kind of a soundscape there. But the one thing I'll definitely say about this song that it has going for it in spades is that chorus is catchy as hell. Around the world in a day. Definitely hits that psychedelic feeling vibe. Really awesome song. Prince to me sounds great on this. I have no idea what any of the reviews for this would be, but listening to this whole album, especially starting off with this song, I like it. Like, there's something about listening to this that at times it was like, I don't know if I like this or not, but the more and more I listen to it, and I think the thought of a great album or even a great song is like even 2 or 3 days later, you're still singing that chorus. And for me, it's definitely that chorus. Around the world in a day. Love it. Just spot on. Uh, Paisley Park definitely has that feeling of like a 60s psychedelic pop tune, but with an 80s flair to it. And I really like it. Parts where you thought like the song would like stop, or normal parts where you thought the vocals should stop or be. It's kind of a very weird song to listen to, but it's poppy as hell. Like, I have to say, I really enjoyed the first two songs off this album, like Paisley Park, the choruses. That's where it really gets you. It's kind of like it feels almost in a way Prince doing like his Sergeant Pepper. I wouldn't even say impression, like his whole take on Sergeant Pepper, and I think it just works well here. Like it has such a good vibe to it. Uh, Lyrics to it are outstanding. Like it really paints like this whole picture. The third song on here, "Condition of the Heart," This is to me where it kind of feels like that Purple Rain kind of vibe, like you would get from like normal Prince. But I love how it starts off with this like piano ballady opening where it goes on for like what feels like 2 minutes. And I was listening to it and I'm like, this is really good. And then he gets into like the whole condition of the just beautiful, gorgeous orchestration. The melodies in here are good. The way Prince is singing, like you really feel that emotion from him. And that's one thing I'll always give Prince is he can always convey that emotion, at least from what I've heard so far, but also have a great sense of timing of where to put stuff, how it's to sound, how it's to be orchestrated. Really great, great song. I remember the first couple times I heard it, I wasn't necessarily a huge fan. It wasn't until listening to it again yesterday where it really clicked for me, and I'm like, this is just a damn good song. There's no way I can say that this is not a good song. Song number 4, Raspberry Beret, another fantastic song. Definitely singable chorus. That's one thing I'll say about this entire album is there's tons of singable choruses that just stick with you. Raspberry, or his whole Raspberry Beret. Yeah, it's yeah, that's kind of melody line for it. I love this a lot. It's one of those songs like it just has such a cool quality to it. Tambourine, the next song on here, not necessarily a huge fan of it, but it works for what it is. What I love about it is it's so short. So even if it's not like necessarily like Cream, Chef's Kiss, but it's still really damn good. On the really side 2 of the album, America, love that song. It feels, to me at least, it feels just as relevant today as probably it did in 1985. It's a really interesting song, great pop tune. Uh, Next song, Pop Life, definitely. Once again, another really good tune. I love the bass on a lot of these songs. I love the way Prince sings it. I think at one time he even talks about like cocaine use on this and kind of like stuff going up your nose and all that stuff. It's really interesting to listen to the orchestration. The ladder, oh, that song is awesome because what I love about it is it allows the backup singers to really shine in parts where you're thinking, okay, this is usually where the singer is singing, and then the vocals from the backup singers are coming in afterwards. It's reversed, where the backup singers are singing their part and then Prince is singing. And I always found that very effective, especially in the latter, talking about the question. And it's like this whole idea. And it kind of feels like the meaning of life kind of feels like this whole religious atmosphere around it. Really awesome tune. Like I remember when I first listened to this, I'm like, well, I'm not a huge fan of Condition of the Heart. I'm not a huge fan of the Ladder. Not a huge fan of Temptation. But I went back and listened to them. They're really damn good songs. They really are. The Ladder to me, fantastic to listen to. The final track on here, Temptation. Oh boy, do I love this song a lot. Like I came back listening to this and it just completely changed my mind on this whole album. Is it's dangerous, it's dirty, it's funky, it's everything you kind of want Prince to be. And it's talking about this whole thing of like temptation, lust, love, uh, sex, everything kind of going into it. And it tells the story and it comes to this point almost to where this guy meets God, and he's like, you know what, I'm tired of just sex. I want love, and it's so interesting to hear it and to almost give like a goodbye at the end of the album. It's really interesting, like to listen to. There is stuff on here, like I said, some of the bass in that is just so funky, so raw, so good. It's interesting, like listening to it, and especially how Prince was able to kind of have like this funk in the psychedelic kind of atmosphere. It really does feel like Prince's Sergeant Pepper in a roundabout way, where it kind of to me felt like, now granted, I haven't heard uh, anything else really by Prince, but at least the gist I get from it from listening to it, it does feel, at least to me, like a reset for this. And I was looking at the album cover. I'll see if I can pull it up here for you guys just to show you what I'm talking about. But the reason I kind of got that really got that like Sergeant Pepper kind of vibe from the album cover is, oh, where is it? Where are we? It's not showing up there from the looks of it. Oh, that's why. Haha. Guess I have to share my screen to do that for you guys. Sorry, guys. There we go. Yeah, you're looking at this album cover here, and you're definitely like, it has that Sergeant Pepper's kind of feel, especially with like Prince and the Revolution up here in the balloon. You have this, you have kind of what looks like the band. I know I did read somewhere that Prince said the reason why he wanted to do kind of have a cover like that is because he's tired of every cover kind of being like a picture of him. So it kind of gave the rest of the band time to shine. Fantastic. Another thing I wanted to mention here is something I did in the last video. I thought I would talk a little bit here about reviews and stuff from the time I did that in my first video. Figured I'd do it here. Not necessarily focusing on rating or anything. Uh, the reception here, despite the muted promotion and its less than commercial sound, that doesn't make sense because this sounds as I'm not sure if it's me looking at it coming back from like today's uh, mindset, but this is definitely a pop album. Like, I don't get where they're coming from with this less than commercial sound. The album still had 2 American top 10 hits and went double platinum. The initial critical response was mixed, but retrospective reviews are positive. Um, Greg Tate of Spin wrote, "Perhaps it's inevitable given a career built as much on calculated mind fucking as mind blowing music. Prince would choose to follow the best album of his career with the most bewildering, if not the worst." Wow. If they're saying this is like his worst album, like I'd have to check out the first couple, like the ones before this, because I'm like, this album to me is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. In a less in a positive retrospective review, Pitchfork Alan Light described the album as brave and deeply personal project exploring sounds and ideas that were almost shocking coming from a pop icon at his peak. Price wrote for The Guardian that the album always sounds better than what you think it will when you revisit. I'll agree with him on that. Like, my first thing was kinda like, "Okay," but the more and more I listen to it, the more I've come to really appreciate this album a lot. This is a fantastic album, definitely for me. Not giving ratings, but it's definitely a heavily recommend listen. Uh, I'd go back to this album daily. Like, I think it's gorgeous, it's lush, it's interesting, it's unique. The 2 top 10 hits definitely are Paisley Park and, Raspberry Beret, from what I remember, reading on this a little bit, but because those are the ones that are always mentioned with Prince, so that's why I'm always like that. The other singles here were Pop Life in America, definitely 100%, yeah, check out those songs. This is a fantastic record. Now, where would I put this on the list? I'll definitely put this ahead. Originally, I was actually thinking of having when I listened to it the first time, I thought, the Alex Harvey album would be ahead of this, but the more and more I listen to this Prince record, it's definitely ahead of Alex Harvey. I think this might actually be like it's kind of weird going back and doing this. Like I kind of wish I would have started this in January, came up with this idea, but I figure you know what, I'll finish out the rest of the year doing this. This album is, in my opinion, chef's kiss. It definitely makes me want to check out more Prince. The great thing about this series is there's a lot going forward and going back and going through different years. You get experience even from the same bands, different decades, seeing where they're at if they survive that long. And I think Prince has another album or two for me to check out, but it will not be just me doing the typical. Should have said this at the end of the last video. This isn't going to be me just doing the typical rock, metal, funk, kind of the usual prog. This is actually going to be me actually really doing different genres as well. Even genres I'm not fans of, I'm going to be checking it out. Whether it be extreme metal, whether it be country, I kind of feel sad to say, but country, I'll check it out. Singer songwriter, jazz, blues, rap, and hip hop. So I was thinking for my next video, the next album I'm going to be looking at, I figured I'd announce it here, kind of what my next 3 albums are going to be, just so you guys are prepared for them. Frog Stomp by Silverchair is going to be my 1995 album. Then I'm going to go all the way back to 1965, and A Love Supreme by John Coltrane will be that one. And for 2015, I was thinking long and hard about this because there is some albums there I want to check out. And a buddy of mine suggested that I do this if I'm really being serious about expanding my musical palette and everything. And I thought, you know what, 2015, I'll do one for To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. I've heard a lot of people like that record. Even people that are not rap and hip hop fans have said they absolutely love that record. So I thought, you know what? I'll check it out. So those are kind of my next threes: Frog Stomp, Love Supreme, and To Pimp a Butterfly. But anyway, that's once again my thoughts and opinions on Around the World in a Day by Prince and the Revolution. Definitely a fantastic record. Definitely check it out. It's right now at the top of my list. I wonder if there's anything that's right now going to come out that'll push it out of there. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot. This is me signing out. Peace.